Hello everyone. I'm still working on my couponing list, but meanwhile I have out my canning supplies and I'm going to show you why, because I was just blessed with so much free fruit. Oh my goodness. 2 buckets of nectarines, bucket of plums, just over half a bucket of peaches I guess, and pears. And there is no way we can eat all of these before they turn or go bad. And I would freeze them, but I learned a lesson a few years ago when our power went out for about a week. It doesn't do any good. All that hard work of prepping and freezing, it's gone. So what I do when I find this much fruit or get this much fruit, I make preserves. That's my canning supplies. I've pulled out tons of canning jars. For some of this, I will need pectin. You can buy it in the actual container, or you can go to a food store and buy it in bulk. And I'm going to take you on a trip with me to see how this goes. The pears, if you will look, there's a mixture of pears, and all of them are not perfect. Look at this. That's okay. I'm going to cut that out. I'm not going to turn up my nose at that poor little pear just because it has a blemish. It's probably going to make the best pear preserve ever. So I'll take you along as we make preserves. Okay guys, I'm back. I'm starting with plums. I have my jars in my canister warming. I've got my plums deep pitted and cut really small. I did not peel. The recipe I will put in the description box below, but mine is a triple batch. The single batch recipe is for 6 cups of plums and I have 18 cups, so I will triple that. The recipe though is for per 6 cups of plums, you will use 1/2 cup of water, 1 box of fruit pectin, which is the equivalent to 6 tablespoons because I do buy in bulk, 1/2 teaspoon of butter, which you will use later to help keep the foaming down. Any foam you get, you will skim off of the top before ladling into your jars, and 8 cups of sugar. So I'll bring you back later. By the way, this is what 24 cups of sugar looks like and 18 tablespoons of pectin. Okay, I've put my plums down. Because I didn't cut them as small as she did in the recipe, I did get in there with my little stick blender and kind of puree that up a little bit. I'm now going to go ahead and add my pectin, which I've measured out. So let me go ahead and dump that in. I really wish I had a stand. Well, I'll get one. I'm going to sprinkle that in so it doesn't clump or whatever. I'm going to stir this in, and I'm going to add my butter. I'm just going to add a little bit of that at a time. I don't want to add it all at one time. Add my butter. And what I'm going to do is, once I've added this, I'm going to bring it to a rolling boil and then add my sugar. Okay guys, I have this at a rolling boil. It's calmed down some because I'm adding sugar. Now this looks like an awful lot of sugar. I said 24 cups, but I'm going to taste it just to be sure that that's how much sugar I want, because once you can it, that's it. Alright, and I'll bring you back. Hey guys, once things started going, it got pretty hectic and I completely forgot about you until I got to the very last jar. So my little ladle wasn't working. It was taking out very little at a time. I said, this isn't going to work. Not a chance, it's going to take too long. So I picked up a mug and used my little thing right here, my jar. Now what I did was to make sure these are clean. I did test my jars before to make sure there are no cracks or nicks. I have vinegar water on these, and I completely clean the top of the jar to make sure it's completely free of any debris because I do want a good seal. And I did have over here in my other canister hot water. It's hot, but not too hot, I guess. Take out a ring and a lid because you don't have to boil these. You just want the rubber part to be flexible and pliable because you do want it to make a good seal. So I'm going to screw this on fingertip tight, a little bit right there. And what I'm going to do is place these back into my water bath and let them sit or boil once it comes back to a boil for a few minutes. I'm going to put my second layer back in here. I do have 2 layers because you have some smaller ones I need to put on top. So I'll bring you back when they're all done and show you what they look like. Hey, I'm working on the pear jam now, or jelly, preserve, whatever it is. And I'm doing the plate test. I just put a little bit onto a cold plate. It's not moving. It's wrinkling and it's staying separated. It looks like it's going to set, so I'm going to jar that up. All right, everybody, I'm calling it a night. I'm exhausted. I ended up with 8 pints and 6 half pints of plum preserve, 3 pints of nectarine preserve, and 3 pints of plum preserve. Maybe you can try this on your own. It's not expensive and it's a great way to preserve any fruit.